owner bought both of them. There was a collector underneath me there, and basically Brian, the salesman there, he told me that he's working on a deal for a white one from a guy from Colorado, and if I was patient enough just to basically wait and see if we can get it to buy it. And there's only 100 of them made on there, including the race car version.
Wow, super rare.
Yeah, so it's a super rare car, very fast car on there, one of the fastest 0 to 60.
Yeah, it's like low threes, 3.3,
yeah,
something like that.
So it's basically they made the car to go against, you know, Ferrari Enzos and the Porsche Carrera GT, okay. And you know, their motto was if you wanted the car to accelerate a Ferrari Enzo and a Corvette ZR1 and outhandle a Lotus Elise, you buy a Rossi Q1.
Big shoes to fill.
It is very big shoes to fill. And you know, the car performs phenomenal on there. You know, it's basically a race car. It's made for the street. All this here is all a roll bar built in.
Oh wow, yeah. That's
which
awesome.
is all illegal from the U.S. and that's kind of the reason why they had to make them as a kit car is because you can't bring them in the United States like that.
Yeah, this car doesn't even have a VIN number. It's got a serial number, so it makes it a little challenging to register it.
Yeah,
Steve was telling me.
Yes, we had to. Actually, our DMV had to end up getting hold of the Capital City DMV, and the Capital City actually told them these are actually factory production cars, and that they basically have to call the factory to get the information of the car to register the cars. It's the only one down here in Mississippi.
Okay.
Here, according to their records there.
This car has a Ford Duratec 3-liter V6.
Yeah,
450 horsepower, 390 foot-pounds of torque, 6-speed Get-Track manual, no ABS, no traction control. Is it power steering?
Yes.
Okay, there is power steering.
Although I beg a bit for power steering, I told them that it shouldn't have power steering.
Yeah, I don't think it needs it.
It's a very, very sensitive car. That's the only thing I don't like about the car. It's too sensitive to my taste. Yeah. As I came out of the Lotus Elise on it, and the Lotus Elise was a very direct car there, where this car right here, when you shift the gears now, you'll feel the car move around.
Yeah. And this car's chassis and everything, they bought the rights from Noble to license and make the car. So the chassis and everything and the body is made in South Africa. It's in Port Elizabeth.
Yes.
And then the actual car, the drivetrain, everything is mated together in West Palm Beach at Rawson. And as of 2013, they're actually doing everything in-house at Rawson in West Palm Beach for the Q1R, and I guess any other Q1s that people want to buy.
Yes,
still, right?
They also own the Moslin company too. They bought that in 2013, okay. And that's when they started changing management and all, because the factory went down from 40 people down to about 10 people.
Okay. And I was reading that you know, this isn't just a rebody Noble. The only thing this car shares with the Noble is the hood and the windshield, and then everything else. They made over 300 changes to the chassis between this and a Noble. So it's really a completely different car. They made it a lot more livable. The interior's a lot better. Yeah. And I think they said their support's much better now too. Sounds great. Behind the wheel of the Rawson Q1. Never driven this in my life, obviously, because they're very rare, as Steve has said. There's some Ford part sharing going on in here. The shift knob's Ford. I think looks like some of the door handles and stuff are Ford.
Yeah, these are Ford.
Okay, that's Ford. Wow, it is very sensitive.
Yes.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't need power steering.
It's kind of,
there it is. That's fifth.
It's very, very difficult.
Yeah.
It needs a gated shifter when it needs to know where we're going.
Yeah, there's a place called European Auto Garage in San Antonio that might be able to put that in. They did the first manual Scuderia.
Oh, really?
F430, yeah.
Cool.
Steering is really light, like you said. It's pretty sensitive. The on center is a little vague there, but it's real point and shoot. The car, I feel like I'm on the front of the car, which is great. Kind of like any kind of other mid-engine car, but I would think it probably most feels like a Lotus Elise, which is what you said you had before. Kind of those fenders that kind of hump over and everything. Motor sounds very un-Ford-like. pedal travel there. To floor it, you gotta like go up and under the chassis.
I've never had it ultra to the floorboard on it because actually my feet get
Oh wow.
I have to put pedals behind me to actually get out.
Feel the full power for the first time.
Yeah.
And he was saying a lot of people think this is a kit car, but they actually just branded it like that. I guess just to get it to the States and get it street legal. But the way it works is you buy the car and it's around $110,000 to $125,000, and you get it done. You don't have to assemble it after that. So, wow. Brake pedal's pretty light.
Yes. The only thing I like about the brake pedals is it has racing rotors and calipers on there. So the problem with racing rotor and calipers is street is not really good.
Yeah.
The tracks are very good there.
Right.
But you got to have them hot there from the work.
Yeah.
When you're on the street here, they don't work very well.
It's like, you ever watched anyone drive an F1 car for the first time? They pretty much wreck immediately because there's no heat in the brakes, no heat in the tires.
Exactly.
And everything just doesn't work. You have to go a certain speed even just to get the aero to work. But this feels very much like a race car. We'll try and feed it a little bit of power. Not much room. Feels good. Real smooth shifts. Clutch is nice and
And have you ever
smooth.
noticed, like when you hit the brakes there, you feel it rattle?
Yeah.
So everybody thinks that those are actually the rotors are warped.
Yeah,
but
that's what it
actually
feels like.
it's not.
Okay.
What Willie has told us is most of the time when these cars are driven on the street, it builds up a carbon on the disc.
Right.
And so he basically said if you basically go like do an 80 stop
Yep.
on there, he said it'll take the carbon off the rotors here, so they'll be smoother.
Yeah, we won't try that today.
Yeah. Unfortunately, no ABS here, so we don't want to crash it.
But overall, I mean, it feels like a proper mid-engine supercar, and you know, it kind of outpunches its coverage on the performance. I've seen it lap a lot faster than some supercars. I saw it beat a 458 on Top Gear. I don't know if that was staged or not, but it definitely destroyed it. So it feels awesome to drive. Like I said, the steering a little sensitive, brakes are a little mushy, but you have to get it all up to temperature like a real race car. And there's no driver aids helping you out here at all. The performance on this car was 0 to 60 in low 3s, quarter mile, and like mid to low 11s at like 125, 126, and the top speed's 188 to 195 depending on what I've read. So very, very fast car. We don't have the AC on, so we're sweating a little bit. And he was telling me it's to even get the AC to work, it's like a magic show in here trying to figure out what dial does what. All right, we're cracking the windows in an attempt to have audio but still have some kind of cooling. I was just thinking, the view out of this car looks a lot like the Hennessy GT to me, like real reminiscent to that. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's definitely more power than what you need.
And the good news is when you buy one of these, the odds of you seeing another one at Cars and Coffee or anything is pretty much zero.
So there's a lot of them that's been destroyed, and the majority of them collectors basically bought them,
Right.
and they don't drive them. They keep them in the garage.
That's a shame.
On there. There's actually, I believe one of the guys that's the vice president of Rooms to Go actually has bought 2 of them there.
See that guy shopping Rooms to Go? He's a car guy.
Yeah.
He's a car guy. That's pretty cool.
And actually, a lot of people that, I don't know if you know this, a lot of people that work for the McLaren F1 team actually drives Nobels.
Really?
400s and
That's
M12s.
one of the best cars of all time.
Yeah.
Well, I would say probably the best car of all time.
And I mean, it kind of, to me, it's a testament there. I mean, you're going to drive a British sports car there. I mean, you kind of want to drive your own brand there, but it would just tell you how good the car is there.
And you can definitely hear the wastegates on this thing.
Yes.
I don't know if it's coming through in the video or not, but I'll try and give you a little smooth. Sounds good. parts when you figure out how to work it. So
yeah, a lot of people think just because it's a Ford on there that the parts are very easy to find.
Right.
And I kind of found that the hard way, but a lot of the parts are actually Ford racing parts that they don't make anymore. That's in the past there, so it's hard to find parts for them there.
Yeah, you were saying the axles are from an SVT Focus, or
yeah, it's from the European XVT, not the US, and I didn't know it was any different between the two.
Right.
And Ford stopped making it CV axles, so they basically told me if you break one, you're gonna never be built by somebody in a performance shop.
So no quarter mile for this car. And I don't know if you hear those pops as well. Those are not fake. Those are real pops. Okay. But yeah, you can heel toe. Huh? Yeah. And the pedals are real deep in the footwell, which is kind of, you have to get used to that. You know, you get in the car and you're close to the steering wheel, but the pedals are actually like up and under a little bit.
It's very, very weird.
It's got some quirks, but you would expect that. Okay? That's what makes it fun. Short gears, real short gears.
Yes. And that's mostly made for it to, you know, get around the track.
Very easy to heel toe, I will say that. This is their own gauge cluster, or is this like a rebranded gauge cluster?
This is their own gauge cluster. And this is actually a lease steering wheel. Yes.
I can't see the light. We're so low, I can't see the traffic light.
I had a Viper, GTS Viper 97.
Yeah.
And it was actually, Lotus was actually just as fast as the Viper was.
You had to do that, sorry. Yeah, the Vipers aren't crazy fast. Right here. I drove, I don't know if you saw the video where I drove the first generation one, but it was a lot of fun. It actually felt faster than the 03. I don't know if that was the gearing or what, but it felt real fast.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Okay, we're getting into some turns. There's not a lot in Mississippi. I'm sure if it gets a little tail happy, it can flip on you like that with that.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah. We don't want to figure that part out.
No, I don't want to figure that out.
Yeah. Suspension is really compliant, not super stiff or anything. Feels great. You know who makes the suspension? Is it in-house?
They make it in-house. Yeah. Everything's made in-house. They used Coney shop.
There's their. It's Coney, okay.
And everything else is basically their own suspension system.
And I was reading, or listening, I should say, when I was doing research. They actually developed the suspension on the street and not on a racetrack because they wanted the car to be a street car. And while Nürburgring times are great, they don't translate to real-world performance. All right, guys. Well, I really appreciate Steve letting me drive the car. It's been a real privilege. They only made, I guess, around 100 of these so far, so to be able to drive one is really an honor, and I really appreciate him reaching out to me on Facebook and letting me drive this puppy. So thank you, Steve, for that.
No problem.
And I hope you guys enjoyed riding along in this car today. And if you enjoyed what you saw today, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, all that great stuff. And we look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.